which is a series by the Scrappy Sisters and Laura Alberts, where they give us a prompt each day to make a scrapbook layout. Today's prompt is monochromatic. This might be my favorite prompt. I love monochromatic. I wasn't sure. I picked out these pictures because I picked out this lovely sketch by Lisa Sikorsky. Scrap a Sketch. It's a Facebook group that's linked below in my description. I'm working my way through Laura's sketches. This is sketch number 35. She has a ton. She also has paid content that I don't pay for yet because I'm still working my way through the rest of the stuff, but I love her sketches. So you can see it's got 3 square photos. Mine are rectangular, and we've got 2 clusters actually, but 3 groupings of photos, and then the title next to this photo. So I have photos of when we went to Florida in February of this year, February of 23. And this is when we're on our way. And I'm working my way through my photos. I do still have some from, I believe it's Thanksgiving, is for how far I'm caught up to. But jumping around, finding some fun pictures. Here's myself and my husband. We're driving down to Florida. We see the palm trees, and here is the Welcome Center in Florida. I wasn't sure what color to pick from here, and so I thought, what about like grays? And, black and white grays. And I went into I have a whole iris container of just black and white, which might be unusual. My kids did band, and I have a whole stack of black and white. There were black, white, and red colors. And it was just something easy to pull from when I needed extra papers. So I have this paper pad. It's dismantled, and they're pretty thin, but they're just fun. And I grabbed out, and I don't know if I'm gonna truly use it, but I grabbed out this one to be the background. It's got a little room for it's got some decoration already on the page, which is kind of an empty spot in the sketch. And then I have all these other fun pages to pull from. And what I'm looking at right now, what I'm seeing is not a lot of variation. I mean, you can see the darker ones. There's a little bit lighter ones. Ooh, here's a good one. But there's not a lot of variations. We'll see. I've had this for a while. I'd like to keep using it. They're fun. So let's get scrapping. I think the reason this video is so long is the measuring part. I don't know, we'll have to see as we go along. Longer video than I usually do. And I don't know that it's a complicated layout at all. I initially take this paper that I liked the contrast of and cut it into 2-inch strips. I'll tell you what I'm doing wrong right here. The first one I cut at 9 inches thinking it was 6. And I thought 6 inches would be good. So I get them down onto because it looks like that in the sketch. However, my photos are longer than what the sketch is. So then I start looking at the other papers and stuff, and I decide that diamond paper was cut too short, so I'll cut more of that. But right now I'm going through my papers, and again, I'm looking for contrasting paper. So I want something either way light or way dark, to use. So I find I'll pick those, the small and the bigger mandalas, and then I'll trim these down to make a mat for my pictures. And my pictures, I swear, oh, you know what? Okay, so they're 3x4. However, when I trimmed, so there were 2 3x4s on a 4x6 to make it cheaper to develop them. And you can do that with Becky Higgins' Project Life app, which is free. However, when I cut them apart, I cut them shorter than what they were, which you can't tell, right? But when you cut the mat so that it's like 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, it's going to be off. So I do adjust, but it works just fine. And I really wanted, again, some more contrast, so I grab out my black cardstock, which gives me the contrast that I want behind this. Even this dark paper, the black really outlines it, and I liked that. So I'll cut the other ones the same, and here's where I'm like, no, these 6-inch ones have to be longer, so I'm going to go back to the original 9-inch. And because I've trimmed those short, I will to make the third one, I do have to grab out another sheet of paper, which is not a big deal. You saw I have a lot. So I trim 3 to the, these are 2x9. And once I start trimming that, you can see it's kind of like a frame that I put that's on the sketch there behind the photos. Once I get that figured out, these diamond papers will get trimmed just a little bit shorter, not much. So then I'm going to make sure I have the same size paper for behind the other 2 photos, and they all got trimmed a little bit short so that, you know, it's not like one's bigger than the other. So the dimensions work for each of the photos. And then I will cut my black paper to get the border around the papers. And all this cutting just takes a little time. So, you know, I hope you've been enjoying Scraptember. We are, gosh, almost 3/4 of the way through. Today is day 18. I hope you've been enjoying it. I know I have been enjoying it. I feel like I've accomplished a lot. Know that next month is Christy's Beautiful Life, and she has her 30 days of sketches. And it's going to be 31 for October, and it will be amazing as usual. I have not started that off yet. I'm still working on Scraptember, but that's okay. I will quickly change gears to jump in with that and follow all the sketches. Prompts are so fun. Last time Christy had a bingo board, which kind of encouraged you to use different kind of prompts on your pages, and I don't know if she's going to be doing that again, but that was fun. So I grabbed the gray paper out to make those frames, and I just laid it out first to make sure I'm looking at sizing. You know, can I make this into a frame, and then will it make sense with this paper? So, and I'm just working on that one paper first. And so I take my piece of paper and lay it over the 1/4 inch mark so that each way around it's going to be a 1/4 inch, the frame. And you'll see I'm trying to be careful and not go all the way through the paper, so I will have to take my scissors out to make those final cuts. And that works slick. So there I'm going, you know what, that diamond paper has to be just a little bit shorter. So I trim it down a little bit, and then I like that. So then I go ahead and I think I'm trimming this diamond paper the same size, but I didn't. You'll see me come back and have to trim it down again later, but it's okay. At least it was too big and not too small, right? Not that I don't have enough paper to do it all over again. I do. So I am going to make frames into getting my measurements exactly correct again. I think I needed more coffee, but there's going to be one more little thing I'll point out to you later that you'll have to giggle at. So again, just getting that frame cut out of that gray paper. What I realized too as I'm going along, there is different tones of gray on each side of the paper. So I'll have to kind of pay attention to that. And they do all get down on the right side, thankfully. So they're all the same gray when they get glued down. So here again, I am just using my scissors to catch those last little bits. And then trimming down the last one. And then pretty soon I'll figure out those 2 other ones are a little bit too long. I store all my embellishments, I shouldn't say all my embellishments, most of my embellishments in color boxes. So then it's easy when I'm doing a monochromatic layout just to pick my black box and kind of go from there. I did grab my white. I never did grab anything out of there. I had plenty to work with from the black box. I do have my collections, my newer collections, still all together. There you can see it's those pieces of paper are too wide, or too long, so they will get trimmed down after I make sure I'm doing the right thing, because I'm having a hard time with measuring today. And there, I'm going to get them trimmed down, and they're going to look much better. This was not hard. I don't want anybody to think that this was hard. I was just being super careful that I was keeping everything consistent, not cutting anything off. Oh, here's my mistake. I just put adhesive on both sides of that paper. Both sides of the papers going together. Like, I think I need more coffee. I put glue on the gray, on the back side of that gray, and then the cardstock as well. So anyway, that one palm tree photo is glued twice as good. It's not going anywhere. Then this is probably the most trickiest part, is getting them down. Now, just know that once you get this down and put embellishments on, no one's going to sit and go, oh my gosh, that's just a little bit crooked. But I was trying to get my spacing right, and I wanted to get all 6 pieces of paper so that they were like straight, but I didn't use my ruler. I am eyeballing it up, and at first I think I'm going to keep them lower so you can see more of that top, the flourish on top. But once I get photos down and stuff, that doesn't quite work out that way. So I put the first one down, goes on super easy. Make sure my photo fits. Adjust the second one. The second one goes down really easy too, because it's the only one going to the right. So I'll just glue that. The third one is a little trickier. You got to line it up with the one on the bottom, right? And then you got to make sure you got similar spacing to the other 2 parts. So I do take my time just kind of lining it up, making sure it looks straight, even if it's not. It should have the appearance of looking straight. You know, and with those diamonds in the background, getting that frame down, it's kind of easy to line them up, I think. So even if the whole thing is crooked, at least the frame lines up with the paper underneath it. And then I'll get the top. And here I'm just checking for spacing. Do I have enough space? Too much space? Should I move it up? Should I move it down? I want to make sure to get my other picture in there. And in the meantime, I think I put the top picture on the bottom and the bottom picture on the top. That will only bother me when my husband says something like these should be switched. Maybe they still can be switched. It was all driving, you know, it's all like Florida type stuff, so it's all on the same page. We're all good. Here's where I grab my grid layouts, or ruler. So it has lines down so that you can line it up with the end of the paper. And I'm trying, you know, to figure out, get the grid paper on the bottom lined up with the grid paper on the top. And again, if I had more coffee, this might have went faster, but I do get there eventually, and I think it all lines up and looks okay. It just takes me a moment. And this is sped up. So just using my ATG, I thought about you know, you can use the liquid glue on that frame, but I was trying to be a little bit faster at it, so this worked okay. And then I will glue down my photos. I was a little unsure about using the gray and the black in that for Florida and, you know, vacation and trip and stuff. My daughter suggested either to use blue or green, and I think either would have worked, but I do really like the way this turns out. And my husband and I are wearing gray. That's all. I mean, that's kind of where I got the inspiration. So here I went through my stuff, and I didn't make you watch me on video. Like, you can see the bag on the left-hand side has all my black, I shouldn't say all, a lot of my black embellishments in. So I've already gone ahead and picked those out and put it in my little tray there. These, I think, are from Creative Memories, and they're little hexagons, and they say 1, 2, and 3 on them. So I thought, how perfect. Not only is it a gray monochromatic layout, it's 3 pictures. So those get laid down. I have a lot of tabs. The 2 gray tabs are from Stampin' Up. We're mixing all kinds of things together. And then to make those gray tabs stand out, I did grab out the black ones I've had pre-punched that have just been sitting in my stash. That black one I just put in there is super old, and I got it from somebody. So just trying to get what I can on the layout, seeing what makes sense. I'm trying to get an arrow in each photo, on each photo, as well as hearts around each photo, and I almost, no, I do capture all that once we get to the end. There's a little journaling bit on the bottom there with that heart, that gray one, that is from Ellie's studio. And then I'm just searching, just trying to get everything clustered up the way I want to. Here comes some hearts. I got a circle in 2 of the clusters like is in the sketch. Love these sketches. They're so versatile. You can use it with anything. Monochromatic, not monochromatic. Travel, not travel. Birthday, anything you want. And it goes with every single thing. Here I'm finding more hearts. And soon I will get, and I just can't find an arrow to go on there like I want to. I try a couple different arrows in my stash. So here I had to take a phone call. I am so sorry, but I did get those, most of the stuff in the top photo glued down. I found an arrow. It's a sticker. It's from Paper Studio. I put those on my hearts. That round heart label on the top there is LA Studio Together. I'm not sure, that was it's a chipboard sticker I got somewhere. That's going to be my title. I'm going to get one of these gray arrows with it. And then I'm not sure where I want to put that little journaling thing, but I know I want it with a couple hearts. And then I start to make that cluster on the bottom. I think that gray heart is also from LA Studio. And this I am going to use some liquid glue on, just I can glue it, get it exactly where I want it, move it around a little bit while it's drying. We're driving. The hearts aren't driving. And then what else? Oh, that gray tab again is from Stampin' Up. And then I'm going to get that hexagon from Creative Memories down. That piece that I don't know where I got from is a little bit of black that works in there. There is a little bit of paper with an arrow that's going to say Our Best Life, that's going to lay across those hearts on the bottom. And that's kind of the theme of our vacation to Florida. Like, we're living our best life. So that's fun to get that arrow down into that cluster. Because then each of the clusters has, well, each of the clusters, I'm going to get some hearts on that middle one yet. So here go. I'm decided to put the journaling bit on the right side of that photo. And then I put the 2 hearts on the bottom, and that's about it. I will put some, I've got some distressed oxide that I'll put down. It is hickory smoke. And that is it. Thank you so much for sticking with me to the end. Check out people below that are playing along with Scraptember. There is a playlist. I hope you have a fabulous day, and I will see you again soon for another video.